record of the delightful piece they're going to play this evening.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, 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 your attention, please, attention, please, attention, please.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
On the stage, please. They're all waiting for you.
We have some very interesting guests with us this evening.
My name is Juan Flores, and I am a coordinator in the Office of Cultural and Academic Transitions here at Michigan State. I'm an MSU alum as well, been here since 2001, so you'll see me around on campus.
My name is Jim Geisen. I'm a junior in the School of Social Work. I'm a veteran. I was in the Marine Corps for about 6 years.
I am Sarah Bermudez. I am a sophomore with a major in animal science and hospitality business. I'm also an intercultural aide here in Holden Hall. I was a freshman camp generation student.
What difficulties did you face in school?
My earliest difficulty that I can remember would have to be in elementary school in the first grade when I first came from Mexico, because I was born in Mexico. So by the time I got here, I was enrolled into the first grade in elementary school, and I remember just being thrown into a classroom. And now as I look back, it wasn't an ESL classroom, it was just a regular classroom. It was probably the section where the most students were held back in and had difficulty learning or behavioral issues in the classroom. That's the section that kind of placed me in. And I remember just being thrown in there, and everyone spoke English, and it was in Detroit, and I just didn't know how to communicate with anyone. So when the teacher called my name for attendance, I don't remember saying present because I didn't even know she was talking to me. It was that, and then not being able to read or write, and or even carry conversations with other students. So like I just remember getting work, and I'm like, what is this? But I remember that it was difficult transitioning from only speaking Spanish to an elementary school where I was now supposed to speak English only.
Which class was most challenging for you?
I would have to say the reading one, because they required participation and reading out loud and stuff like that, and I was always like, please don't call me, please don't call me, please don't call me. Like I would pray, like, okay, just please skip me, you know. And it was elementary school and middle school where I had the toughest time reading, and even if I knew how to read, I knew that I read with an accent, and I knew that the kids in my class would like laugh, and I was like, dang. I would say, you know, definitely put them in a classroom where the teacher's bilingual and can like help them and give them that extra push when they notice that the students are struggling with a concept or struggling with a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like they need to be equipped with the ability to do that, and then kind of like when needed, then jump in and say, okay, look, what it means, what we're trying to get from you, student, is blah blah blah. You know, this is what we're looking for, and then give the students an opportunity to like take that in, and then kind of like respond, you know, in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like let them process everything, and then kind of respond on their own, you know, without them giving them all the answers. You know, like I know sometimes teachers are like, oh, you know, just this is what it is. Here, write it in and move on, you know, and then they just push them along. I don't think it's a good idea to just throw them into a regular classroom, because teachers are not equipped with the tools to really work with that student, and at the same time, it's not fair to the other students who are going to be waiting on other, you know, a student who doesn't speak the language to like catch up. And I'm sure teachers can get frustrated and don't have the time, and you know, they can create a lot of problems in the classroom. So I think it's important that schools are prepared and set up some kind of curriculum for students who speak a different language. I would say no. I think that depends on where these schools are, the districts that they're in. You know, some districts have a lot more money than others, so they can afford to bring in teachers who speak more than one language, and they can afford to like create these curriculums for students who speak other languages without, you know, hindering the workload of the teachers and per student ratio that they have in their school. But then again, there's these other districts where the majority of like immigrant families go to, and these districts are low in funding, they don't have enough teachers, or the quality of the teachers that they have are just not where they need to be. And so like, I don't think they can afford, you know, to bring on teachers or even pay them what they deserve to like teach or speak multiple languages and be prepared to teach students who have difficulty with the language used in their classrooms. So it's not fair, you know. Like, there's so much disparity across the spectrum when it comes to like education and the quality of education in different communities, you know. So we have what it takes. We have a lot of talent, we have a lot of smart folks, and I think that if everyone just comes together for the purpose of educating the younger generation, that's going to equal leadership and it's going to equal success, not only personally, but for the whole U.S.
How was it being in a country where the primary language is not one that you spoke?
It was hard. It was really hard when I was in the Marines and we go overseas to other countries. My friends and I, none of us spoke the other languages, so it was like really interact or communicate with, you know, the locals. Kind of hung out in our own group, spoke English, and drew pictures to get what we wanted, or you know, found other creative ways to try and communicate with people, try and tell them what we want. Down in Mexico on spring break, pretty much everybody in the group spoke Spanish except for me. It was okay. I mean, luckily the whole time I was there, you know, I was always with somebody that spoke Spanish. Somebody always had my back. If I'm trying to get something from the pharmacy, I'm like, you know, big bottle of water. Somebody right there to communicate for me, and I'd get what I want. But when we were expected to interact with the kids, that's when it became really difficult for me because my friends were off talking with other kids and playing with them. So I'm sitting there by myself. Or, you know, with Malcolm, another guy that doesn't speak Spanish. And we were playing Monopoly or whatever, you know, and we're just trying to bond with these kids, but it's really, it was a really big challenge. The first thing I thought was, I wish I had paid closer attention in Spanish classes I've taken in the past. Put myself in their shoes going to another country like America, where very few people speak your language. I gain a whole new respect.
What responsibilities does the nation have for educating the children of both legal and illegal immigrants?
I think, man, I thought these were all going to be easy. It would benefit you incredibly, not just in like finding a job, but just helping people, just making friends, and you know, the whole sense of community comes into play at that point. It's like, you know, how can you have a group of people that live next to each other that claim to care about their community, but not everybody's included because of a language barrier.
Both. Spanish, more English now because my grandmother died. So my grandmother was the one to always speak Spanish in the house. I spoke more Spanish like at home when my grandmother's around. But she did understand the fact that America and the United States had a better opportunity for people, and that's why she moved with her family to East Chicago. But there, when she moved there, she realized that she had known English and she was a top-notch student. And she actually became a teacher, so she taught secondary education. But then when she saw how a lot of families were coming here and that language barrier was also a job barrier, she started off teaching like at around 40 how to speak English, and then it just took off, and then she became an English as a second language teacher. And she met a lot of people. I grew up around it. I remember going to her classes with her, and like I knew all her students. And it was funny. She says we're going to class, and I'm thinking that we're going to go to class with all these kids, and it's all adults, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, who are all in the process of learning English in order to better themselves and their family in that way because of that language barrier. Because I just remember coming home from school in elementary school, walking by the dining room table and seeing the whiteboard of all the lessons, like so simple words like Sandra eats the bread, and then the Spanish counterpart. And it was just something I've always learned. I've always known that as the classroom. And you have to walk by that to go to the rest of the house.